Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of trumpet resound, let out the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun, all of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Father's Day. Any of you who are celebrating 300 cheers to you. We honor you today. Today, of course, is also our new federal holiday, Juneteenth, commemorating the day that the last of the slaves learned of their independence, their freedom, in 1865. And Aaron has just sung for us the song that is sometimes called the Black National Anthem. So today we give thanks with awe for all the contributions African American people have made to our life as a country, recognizing that our true greatness as a nation lies in the intertwining of cultures and stories and insights. Just help us to go so far. And we join our prayers with the prayers of people all across the country today who yearn for true liberty and justice for all. This is the Independence Day that includes everybody. God's joy fills the world when everyone's gifts are received and welcomed and nurtured, and everyone is treasured for who they are. So let's stand and sing a hymn that opens those doors. This is number 284, and we will sing verses 1, 2, and 4.
The new light is shining, shadows of doubt are vanished away. See in this space our fears and our dreamings, brought here to you in the light of this day. Gather us in the lost and forsaken, gather us in our spirit inflame. Call to us now, and we shall awaken. We shall arise at the sound of your name. We are the young, our lives are a mystery. We are the old who yearn for your face. We have been sung throughout all of history, called to be light to the whole human race. Gather us in the rich and the haughty, gather us in the proud and the strong. Give us a heart so meek and so lonely, give us the courage to enter the song. Not just in buildings small and confining, not in some heaven light years away. Here in this God present, and now is the day. Gather us in and hold us forever. Gather us in and make us your own. Gather us in, all peoples together. Fire of love in our flesh and our bones.
Gather us in, gracious God. Hold us forever. Make us your own. And open our hearts to the wonder of this unendingly diverse, unendingly fascinating, and unendingly gifted human family to which we belong. We offer you our love for one another, and we offer you the welcome we want to extend to everyone you bring our way. Help us to make it real. We bring you our worship in the name of Jesus. Amen. Please be seated. Huge thanks to Aaron, who's singing for us this morning, and who was really open to collaboration, last-minute collaboration, on what would interact with stuff I'd prepared to make a wonderful worship experience for everyone. Always such a treat to hear you sing, Aaron. Thanks. It is Juneteenth, and down in Mercerdale Park, next to the farmers market, there are, I think, 6 or 7 booths set up. This is an event sponsored by the Black Students Union at Mercer Island High School. And our booth is right in the center. We are the centerpiece of it because we volunteered to tell people what the holiday means. We did the basics. So thanks to those who came yesterday and put the display together. Jonathan Harrington and Diane Gordon are there in the park, representing us right now, manning the booth. And I will be there, Cheryl and I will be there this afternoon. So come to the farmers market and drop by and say hello. And you'll see the photos in Tuesday's email. I think it looks pretty good. Also on Tuesday, our church council is meeting at 7 o'clock in the evening on Zoom. But that's all the announcements I have. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to share? Yeah, Hans. Want to come to the microphone?
I made an announcement a couple of weeks ago, and you guys have stepped up too. We have egg cartons galore, so thank you very much. Now the chicken has to do their stuff eventually. Thank you.
I was hoping you were going to say the house is no good, so you decided not to move. Okay, all right. Anybody else? And let's share an enthusiastic Father's Day sign of peace with one another. May the peace of Christ be with you all.
Do you have an introduction, or should we just start?
So hard they could not stand, let my people go. people go. Let them come out with Egypt's spoil. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go.
Our Bible reading this morning comes from the book of Genesis. And maybe the best way to set the scene is to ask if you've seen Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. If you have, you'll remember that Joseph, the hero, was one of 12 brothers, the 12 sons of Jacob. Jacob, son of Isaac, son of Abraham, one of the great patriarchs from the book of Genesis. Those 12 brothers became the 12 tribes of Israel. And indeed, Israel is Jacob's other name, Israel, the one who struggles with God. Today, our reading comes from the end of Jacob's life. So if you've watched that play about Joseph, it's at the end of all of the drama. The family has been reunited. Jacob is in his last days, and he gathers his 12 sons together to bless them. So this is kind of long because there are 12 sons. You might want to close your eyes because for each of the sons, the imagery is so vivid. This is a father who really had a distinct picture of each of his children, at least each of his male children. And these are no ordinary blessings with their color and imagination. So from Genesis chapter 29. Assemble and hear, O sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might and the first fruits of my vigor, excelling in rank and excelling in power. Unstable as water, you shall no longer excel because you went up onto your father's bed, then you defiled it. You went up onto my couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers, weapons of violence are their swords. May I never come into their council. May I not be joined to their company. For in their anger they killed men, and at their whim they hamstrung oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Judah, your brothers shall praise you. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. He crouches down. He stretches out like a lion, like a lioness. Who dares rouse him up? His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun shall settle at the shore of the sea. He shall be a haven for ships, and his border shall be at Sidon. Issachar is a strong donkey lying down between the sheepfolds. He saw that a resting place was good and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to the burden and became a slave at forced labor. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a snake by the roadside, a viper along the path that bites the horse's heels so that its rider falls backward. I wait for your salvation, O Lord. Gad shall be raided by raiders, but he shall raid at their heels. Asher's food shall be rich, and he shall provide royal delicacies. Naphtali is a doe let loose that bears lovely fawns. Joseph is a fruitful bough by a spring. His branches run over the wall. The archers fiercely attacked him. They shot at him and pressed him hard, yet his bow remained taut, and his arms were made agile by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, by the name of the shepherd, the rock of Israel, by the God of your father, who will help you, by the Almighty, who will bless you with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies beneath, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of your Father are stronger than the blessings of the eternal mountains, the bounties of the everlasting hills. May they be on the head of Joseph, on the brow of him who was set apart from his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, in the morning devouring the prey, and at evening dividing the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them when he blessed them, blessing each one of them with a suitable blessing. When Jacob ended his charge to his sons, he drew up his feet onto the bed, breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Aaron's going to sing for us from the show about Joseph. In this song, Joseph is a slave in Pharaoh's household. He's just been thrown into jail because of the fury of Pharaoh's wife. So hear the voice of the slave. Here's where our two themes really intersect. Hear the dream of freedom.
Oh, I have a spotlight.
Close every door to me, hide all the world from me, bar all the windows and shut out the light. Do what you want with me, hate me and laugh at me, darken my daytime and torture my night. If my life were important, I would ask, will I live or die? But I know the answers lie far from this world. Close every door to me, keep those I love from me. Children of Israel are never alone, for I know I shall find my own peace of mind, for I have been promised a land of my own. Just give me a number instead of my name. Forget all about me and let me decay. I do not matter, I'm only one person. Destroy me completely, then throw me away. If my life were important, I would ask, will I live or die? But I know the answers lie far from this world. Close every door to me, keep those I love from me. Children of Israel are never alone, for we know we shall find our own peace of mind, for
I've never been a father, but I'd like to share some of what I've seen. Seems to me fatherhood is an invitation to put your own needs and plans aside and dedicate yourself to the good of another human being. One of our church members described it to me like this: it's sleep deprivation, changing diapers, emotional outbursts, getting out the door on time, the endless joy of a sleeping baby in my arms, and watching the unfolding of a human life as our children grow into whatever God has in store for them. Who in their right mind would want sleep deprivation, diapers, screeching, hassles? But who in their right mind would miss the opportunity for endless joy and the chance to watch God's purposes unfold right in front of you? I suspect that Jacob, the patriarch, was more interested in the idea of children than the reality of them. We've got a novel about Jacob in our church library. It's called Son of Laughter. And this is how that fictional Jacob talks about his children. In all, I had 10 sons and 1 daughter by Leah and the 2 maids. Even with the building of several new rooms, Laban's house was as crowded as a sheepfold. The children were everywhere. They were into everything. One by one, they learned to crawl and walk. They learned to talk after a fashion as well as to scream and to make your ears ring with their shrill laughter. They learned to poke and pinch and slap. Before they learned to take care of their needs outside, the house stank worse than the narrow, sun-baked streets of Haran with their little mounds and puddles. They shattered the nights with their wails. I was like a man caught out in a storm with the wind squalling, the sand flailing me across the eyes, the chilled rain pelting me. The children were the storm. Not a very romantic picture. Maybe the moral of the story is not to have 11 children all at once, 3 women's worth, all under the age of 6. But Jacob's eyes were opened later in the story. The children were the storm, I thought, until one day, right in the thick of it, I saw the truth of what the children were. One boy was pounding another boy's head against the hard-backed floor. Another was drowsing at his mother's teat. 3 of them were trying to shove a 4th into a basket. Dinah was shoving her foot into her mouth. The air was foul with the smell of them. They were God's promise. That's what I suddenly saw the children were. I had forgotten it. They were the dust that would cover the earth. The great people would spring from their scrawny loins. Kicking and howling and crowing and pissing and slobbering food all over their faces, they were the world's best luck. I started to weep. Just a trickle at first, the tears hot on my cheeks, salty at the corners of my mouth. Then it was as if I couldn't catch my breath for weeping. A deep hush fell over the children. They stopped whatever they were doing. Their eyes grew round in their heads. "You are so noisy," I choked out at them. They were God's promise to Abraham, and I had forgotten it. It was with Abraham's ancient eyes that they were watching me. "You are so hopeless," I said, "so important." Their silence as they listened to my sobs was Abraham's silence as he waited all those years for God to keep his promise. Fatherhood is an invitation to step up into partnership with God in the shaping of human lives, and through that, in the shaping of the world. Forget time you thought was yours, or money you thought was yours, or things you were going to do, places you were going to go. Any and all of that might need to be diverted into the welfare and happiness of your child. But the mystery of it is that in giving yourself away, you find yourself too. I don't want to be too sentimental about this. As I say, I don't really know what I'm talking about. The sacrifices are huge, though. The rewards are not automatic. But faith teaches us that it's only in losing your life that you really find it. Surely what's at the end of the sleepless nights and the chaos and the exasperation and the empty wallet is your life, the person you could never otherwise have become, eye to eye with God. There's a TED Talk on the internet by a guy named Stephen Addis, a keen amateur photographer. He tells how on his daughter's first birthday they happened to be in New York City, and his wife snapped a photo of him and the baby standing on a street corner downtown. The next year, by chance, they were again in New York City. So on his daughter's second birthday, just for fun, they headed back to that same street corner and took the photo again. The third year, his wife couldn't go, but she suggested that they make it a father-daughter ritual. So he went. He took the little girl and got a stranger to take the picture. 2 years later, he found himself trying to explain 9/11 to a 5-year-old. But they kept going year after year, till the daughter laughs that it's colleges she's interested in now, not toy stores. In his talk, Addis urges all of us to become photographers and capture those moments. Although he doesn't claim to be religious, what he's saying is, pay attention. Don't miss this. That isn't just about his daughter growing up, it's about his own life. Some time ago, our CCMI movie group watched a film called Megan Levy about a troubled young woman who becomes a dog handler in the Marines, ultimately saving a lot of lives. Toward the end of the movie, she's left the military and she's a mess. Physically, she's recovered from wounds that she suffered in Iraq, but mentally, she hasn't recovered at all. She only lasts a couple of weeks living with her mother and her mother's boyfriend, and then she heads across town and crashes at her father's. Day after day, if she isn't glaring at him, she's staring at the ceiling, pretty much resentful at everything, at the whole world. He's no hero, her father, but he gets the best line in the whole movie. One afternoon, he's on his way to work, and he challenges her about what she's going to do. She comes back with accusations about the terrible father he was. And he returns with his brilliant line, "How I love you is stronger than what I'm not." He's no hero, but suddenly he is, just as inadequate as before in 100 ways, but rock solid in the one that matters most. The daughter, Megan, gets out of bed and takes up her life again. How I love you is stronger than what I'm not. What do you and I love so much that our very center of gravity shifts to a new place? That what matters literally changes from being about us to being about somebody else? That we shrug at our shortcomings and get back in there and try again because the love that demands it is who we've become. Lots of people can't handle it. We know that. Love is an awesome responsibility. It asks so much of us. But those who say yes to it become awesome themselves. So much so that when Jesus was looking for a way to tell people what God was like, the word he chose was Abba. Funny how motherhood isn't quite the same thing. Funny how if we all told stories about our fathers, no two would be the same. All those very individual men living out the role in their own very individual ways. They all need forgiving one way or another, but if they loved us, there's much that can be forgiven. Today we say thanks. And we hear once again a song from that musical. Joseph has distinguished himself in Egypt. He has rescued his brothers, indeed, he's rescued the country of Egypt first, but rescued people from a famine in their homeland. This is the song he sings when he is reunited with his brothers and his father Jacob.
Juneteenth, Father's Day, Pride Month. It's the intersection of a lot of things this Sunday. I thought I'd just share a few extra words as I was contemplating the songs that I'm singing today. I don't think that Andrew Lloyd Webber or Donny Osmond, who sang this character, Andrew Lloyd Webber, who wrote the musical, or Donny Osmond, who performed the role, knew what gay subtext this show has. The more sons a woman has, the more likely that child is to be gay. Joseph is different. He's born different from all of his other brothers. He sees things differently. He stands out. He's not loved for it by his brothers. He's persecuted by his brothers. But he's loved by God, and he's destined for something special. And he wears a fabulous coat. So it has resonance to people in the gay community that you might not be aware of. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Should your microphone be on?
Do you hear me? I'm speaking as loud as I can, but I don't know if the microphone works. Great. Okay, great. We'll start. I closed my eyes, drew back the curtain to see for certain what I thought I knew. Far, far away, someone was weeping, but the world was sleeping. Any dream will do. I wore my coat with golden lining, bright colors shining, wonderful and new. And in the east, the dawn was breaking, and the world was waking. Any dream will do. A crash of drums, a flash of light, my golden coat flew out of sight. The colors faded into darkness. I was left alone. May I return to the beginning. The light is dimming, and the dream is too. The world and I, we are still waiting, still hesitating. Any dream will do. Any dream will do. Any dream will do.
Our closing hymn invites us to the regard and respect for one another, the love for one another, which we want to live. It's number 490. We'll sing all the verses. Sister, let me be your servant.
To let me be
Good. Good.
Let me be your servant, sister, let me walk with you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too.
May God meet you in your humanity, the love in you that is better than who you thought you were, the resolve that overcomes every obstacle, the brokenness through which healing comes. May God meet you and welcome you, bless you, and walk with you into a new day. Go in peace. Amen.
Come and wave.
Time to wave to the camera. Come wave to the camera.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
And there they are, all waving back. Yay. Rodney and Judith, have a wonderful vacation.
I just realized I have this encyclopedic knowledge of why it's meaningful to me.
Happy Father's Day. Have a great week, everybody.